Thanks so much for joining us on our off-grid journey. Be sure to like, subscribe, and set up those notifications. And for more tutorials, podcasts, and updates, head over to offgridbnb.com. Okay, so there was way too much wind when we set out to record this. The audio is just way too crappy for me to leave this in the video. So I'll just be narrating most of it, and hopefully that'll take care of the information portion. I just finished the last joist for the flooring of the flushing toilet frame. The next thing that'll go in will be this OSB panel. This is me basically just talking about all the delays that we had put up with being in the middle of the monsoon season here in northern Arizona. And then, of course, while filming the newest edition of the Off-Grid B&B, walked up to make his first film appearance. This is Vader, so named by my Star Wars loving manager. He is such a gentleman. He's a good boy. Anyway, back to the build. The basic gist of what I'm saying here is that I'll be mounting the OSB and try to fit in the roof panel as well as the walls in this one video, which I think I did end up doing. The walls will go up, and I'll seal those with some Flex Seal roofing sealant and keep the bad weather at bay, hopefully. At the time I'm recording this, jury's still out. The walls are up, it's sealed, but we haven't opened it up yet to see if there's been any water damage from all the rain. It really did come down heavy. But that'll pretty much close off the second of probably 4 or 5 videos for the flushing toilet series. After placing the OSB in place, I marked all 4 corners so that I could cut and the sufficient space for the pilings to fit through. We removed the panel to cut those. To make it easier than using my T-square to draw the lines, I actually just took the original markings that I made when we laid the OSB up there and placed a scrap piece of 4x4 down and drew around that. Once in place, I eyeballed the placement of the nails and popped those into place. The next day the wind had died down a little bit, so I'll play some original audio here. Yesterday, we went ahead and finished the platform. We finished 3 of the walls. The reason we didn't do the front wall is actually, well, there's 3 reasons. Number 1, we're gonna outfit the stairs somewhere down here, and those stairs should, hopefully, by the time we're done with it, be effective in not just having a subtle rise. It's kind of a sharp climb, but we're trying to put more steps in there to make it easier for our younger or shorter guests to be able to make their way up. Number 2 is we have to mount panels horizontally based on where we're putting the pilings, which is the 3rd factor. The piling for the center in the front, you can see the one in the rear there, but the piling that's going to go in the front, it's going to kind of create the distance or the width, I should say, for the door. So we got to make sure that we have a couple of things kind of hammered down before in our design phase before we're able to jump right in and do the rest. But so that's what we're going to be doing today. We've got one more day of nice weather. We're in the middle of the monsoon season here in Arizona, and this is the first 3-day stretch of days without rain on the forecast that we've had for a long time. Too long. I don't even want to think about how long it's been since I haven't been able to build on this thing. It's been sitting here in the bad weather. So in any case, we're going to be doing that today. With the walls up, it was time to cut the pilings to the right heights and angles in preparation for the roof panel. I don't typically like using the reciprocating saw for cuts that need to be super precise. They're just kind of chaotic and all over the place. They're tough as nails and they do a good job, but sometimes I end up building myself into a corner where I don't have really much choice to use any other tool, and this is one of those times. It would have been way too cumbersome to build the entire frame, place it in the ground, level it out and all that stuff, and then take it back down to get the right heights from the concrete level up. It would have just been too much guesswork. And you know, I also could have removed the walls here and just cut the angles with a more accurate tool, but I needed to have the walls in place so that I could draw my rafter support lines to ensure a more accurate option for mounting the whole roof in one shot, which I did by the end of this video. With that done and the front rafter mounted, it was time to move the roof panel into place, and that turned out to be a super precarious job. Once I got to a certain height and I realized I was not going to be able to push the panel forward without also pushing the ladder backward, I really just should have stopped and secured everything with ratchet straps or something else. I should have just looked for a different option, but I did not. And of course, right at the moment when I was pushing the panel in place, a big gust of wind came and just moved it right out of the way, and it fell through down to the floor. That's just Murphy's Law, but the good news is where before we couldn't get the panel into the lower space because the angle between the pilings and the height was preventative, now it was actually in a good place to lift it right up from the floor that we just built, put it into place, and it was much safer from then forward. I did shimmy it into place, I clamped it down, and then nailed it all together. I didn't record that footage. But after that, it was still too windy to get good audio. But, basically in a nutshell, we laid out the metal roof panels, cut them all in one shot, and then mounted those into place. I then went on to talk about, snow loads and what kind of rafters we needed to put in place. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put that into the next video where we'll actually be mounting the door and painting it and so on, kind of finishing up after the stairs. While Heather was busy cutting the metal roof panels, I went ahead and mounted the front wall. That night, we went ahead and poured and let the concrete set so it'll be dry the next day. We seal coated the walls, and here is the final result of that. In the next video, I'll be putting together the steps up to a small deck platform that'll lead into the bathroom. That platform will mount right to these floor joists and pilings underneath, and it'll also be secured by the same side beams that we use to help secure the wall panels. And if you're planning to do something similar to what we're doing here, be sure to really work that seal coating into the corners and coat the bottoms of your walls, especially anywhere where panels meet or they come down, so that dripping water doesn't rot your plywood. And that's it for this video. We'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, why not reach out? You could be a podcast guest, get discounts on rentals, or even collaborate on a project. Send inquiries to offgridbnb@gmail.com.